Just recording right my own just so I can save this for my YouTube. Whatever. What's up, guys? What's going on? So, you know what we came here to talk about? This it's in the title. It's in the fucking title. So we're gonna do a reaction to a video that's about this. And I'm going to just say my opinion first because I've been saying this for like the past couple days before this video even came out. I was like, yo, bro, this is weird because like it happens like twice a year. Can't hear myself talk. Happens like fucking twice a year, right? Some story comes out when you're just like, oh my God, this this injustice is happening to this poor innocent person, you know, every freaking year. It happens like twice a fucking year. And I'm like, ignore, ignore. I ain't got time for it. Ignore, ignore, ignore. And it's just like sometimes I just be like, you know what? Let me look into it. And each fucking time when you look at the actual fucking case, it's something different. And of course, we're talking about Marcellus Williams, okay? And I hate when I look at shit. And in my mind, I'm just like, bro, I'm looking at it and there's like, oh well, the DNA was bad. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, what else? Well, he said he was innocent so many times. That okay. What else? He said he was innocent and the DNA was bad. Okay. So I looked it up. You know what I see? I see that he this man had the stolen goods in his trunk, right? This man had like his girlfriend said that he had bloody clothes that he just threw away and scratches on them when she went to pick him up after he did the crime, right? After he murdered somebody, he had bloody clothes. Then he was in jail with somebody else, and that other inmate fucking said that he told him. And I know inmates will say whatever the fuck they want to get out. But the inmate was saying shit the cops didn't even know. It's like, yo, it's like, yo, what's happening? The fucking inmate was like, hey, man, he told me to check. Y'all should just check that trunk, bro. I don't know. Y'all should check the trunk. Check the trunk. Boom. Fucking shit in there. She had what, a calculator and a fucking a ruler for whatever fucking job she was on. What now? His fingerprints wasn't on the fucking knife. And I don't know about you, but if I wanted to stab somebody, I would I'd probably put on a fucking some gloves, right? When you put on gloves if you went out to stab somebody, if you went out to commit any crime, when you went to put on gloves, fingerprints wasn't on gloves. Somebody else's fingerprints were. Whose fingerprints were they? The prosecution. Like, come on, bro. Like, look at this shit. But I said that. I looked up all this shit. Then motherfuckers wanted to be on Facebook and fucking Instagram saying, no, he's fucking innocent. I'm just like, no, he's not. So not only do you not have to take my word for it because you fucking don't. Let's hear what Mr. What's his name? Actual Justice Warrior. Because I saw this shit today. I was like, bro, thank you. Thank you. Vindicated. Because I don't feel like putting them. I was gonna make a fucking video my damn self about this. And I was like, fuck it. No, I ain't got that much reach. Fuck it. Let's go. We're gonna do it with somebody else. This is actual Justice Warrior. Boom, right here. The title is Marcellus Williams is 100% guilty. Right? Let's go. Let's see what you guys say.
Clip as presented by Philip DeFranco, and I'm going to give you all the different various pieces of evidence that refute, dispute, and absolutely destroy the arguments put forward by him, and of course, share with you the actual evidence that was presented at trial that proves overwhelmingly that Marcellus Williams was in fact guilty of this murder.
And then we got to talk about how a man's life is in the hands of the
Yo, and I used to like Philip DeFranco, bro. I used to. This man's been Like, this man doesn't look into anything now. This man just goes on with whatever he fucking hears from the mainstream media or some shit like that, bro. This man doesn't do any research at all, bro.
Missouri State Supreme Court right now, because they are currently deciding whether or not a man who many believe is innocent should be executed tomorrow. So this man's name is Marcellus Williams, and he's 55 years old, with him having now spent more than 2 decades in prison after being convicted for murdering a woman by the name of Felicia Gale. Because in 1998, someone broke into her home in the suburbs of St. Louis and stabbed her to death with a knife taken from her kitchen. But Williams, he has always said it was not him.
So I just want to point out something.
And I just want to point out something. Just because somebody says over and over for decades that, oh, I didn't do it. Hey, man, I didn't do it. No, I said they didn't do it for a long time. Ted Bundy. He said he didn't do it. He said he didn't do it for a long fucking time, right? A bunch of people said they do a bunch of shit for a long fucking time. Some people even took that shit to their grave that they ain't do the shit. But come on, bro. That's not all you need. What the fuck is happening here?
That should be obvious to everybody out there in the audience. This idea that somebody saying that they didn't do it or maintaining their innocence is somehow evidence of the fact that they are innocent is ridiculous and absurd.
Listen, and I ain't watched this. I ain't watched this before, okay? I did not watch this video before. I'm just saying. I was like, yo, let me hear what this man has to say. Let's go.
In every possible way. The guy's guilty. There would be no case if he admitted and acknowledged his guilt, but since he didn't do that, since he won't do that, it is presented to us as the lead-off talking point from a guy like Philip DeFranco, who is pulling all of his information from the Innocence Project. But one of the things that really pisses me off is that DeFranco says
Yo, in the Innocence Project, bro. They I think they got their hearts in the right place. But if they really want to be the Innocence Project, they really need to like give off like actual fucking facts. That's what they don't do. They had another case about some chick, some chick in like she was saying that she was a I mean not prostitute. She said she was sex trafficked, right? And what she did because she was sex trafficked, she got picked up by a man when she was underage. The man's a piece of shit for that. She went to his house, waited until he fell asleep, shot him in the back of the head, and drove off of his car and then a bunch of his stuff. Yeah, she wasn't sex trafficked. That guy did nothing to her. He was sleeping. He's a piece of shit. He should have been in jail for fucking trying to have sex with a fucking minor, fucking pedophile and shit. But yeah, and it was like, oh, she shouldn't have been convicted of that. She shot a man in the back of the head while he was sleeping. Like what? Let's go.
that the evidence isn't convincing at all. Why would they even execute this guy? Because there's no evidence, as told to you by Philip DeFranco, who's getting all his talking points from the Innocence Project.
And despite his conviction and the death sentence that came with it, the evidence that he's guilty, I mean, it is far from convincing to say the least. And so with that, we've seen his execution actually put off twice already, right?
Far from convincing. Let's see what's so far from convincing.
First in 2015 and then in 2017 when Governor Eric Greitens appointed a board of inquiry to look into whether Williams deserved clemency. But notably, Greitens then resigned not long after that in the midst of scandals involving allegations of sexual misconduct and blackmail. And when the current governor, Mike Parson, took office, he dissolved the board and revoked Williams' stay of execution. And then, I mean, this year, it's just been even more of a roller coaster, right? This last January, Wesley Bell, who's the prosecuting attorney for St. Louis County, he filed a 63-page motion saying that Williams was likely innocent. For one, he argued that the two main witnesses against Williams, quote, were known liars beyond being incentivized by the reward money.
And I forgot to mention that. I don't even think one of them took the reward money, bro. And then I think the other person, the dude that's in jail, I don't even think you can get like the total amount of reward money from that. So that's just bullshit. He's like, oh, Williams must be innocent because these guys are liars. I mean, these guys want money. So that wait, hold up. Wait. If that's a fucking excuse, right? Then having a reward for anything would not matter, right? If you lose your cat or your dog, don't put out a reward poster Don't say you're going to give them a reward because they are incentivized to lie. Like, come on, bro, get out of here.
So Philip DeFranco just threw a lot of different various things at you, and I'd like to address them point by point by point. So first of all, the witnesses. So what ended up happening in this particular case, again, according to the facts and evidence of the case, is as follows. On August 11th of 1998, Williams drove his grandfather's Buick to a bus stop and caught a bus to University City. Once there, he began looking for a house to break into. Williams came across the home of Felicia Gale. He knocked on the front door and no one answered. Williams then knocked out a window pane near the door, reached in and unlocked the door, and entered Gale's home. He went to the second floor and heard water running in the shower. It was Gale. Williams went back downstairs, rummaged through the kitchen, found a large butcher knife,
And I see where he's reading that from. I think it's called Murderpedia. Murderpedia. Bro, and that shit is accurate too. So it's gonna give you all the fucking the actual facts of the case. So if you go to Murderpedia and just look up fucking any serial killer's name, you'll get like their whole fucking history. It's fucking awesome. It's pretty fucking good. I just recognized the fucking format and shit.
and
Font
waited.
format.
Gale
Blah blah blah.
left the shower and called out, asking if anyone is there. She came downstairs. Williams attacked her, stabbing Gale 43 times, inflicting 7 fatal stab wounds. After that, Williams went to an upstairs bathroom and washed off. He took a jacket and put it on to conceal the blood that was all over his shirt. Before leaving, Williams placed Gale's purse and her husband's laptop computer and the black carrying case that the laptop goes in his backpack. The purse contained, among other things, a St. Louis Post Dispatch ruler and a calculator. Williams.
Hey, listen. I know. Listen. I might not be a smart man, okay? But just know when I say that I read up on a fucking case, you know that it's true. Because I just fucking said that. Oh my God. Just saying, just to let you know. I read up on the case. This man read up on the case. Ugh.
Left out the front door and caught the bus back to his Buick. After returning to the car, he picked up his girlfriend, Laura Asaro. Asaro noticed that despite the summer heat, Williams was wearing a jacket. He then removed the jacket, and Asaro noticed that Williams' shirt was bloody and he had scratches on his neck. Williams claims he had been in a fight. Later in the day, Williams put the bloody clothes in his backpack and threw them in the sewer drain, claiming he no longer wanted them. Asaro also saw a laptop computer in the car.
And just think about that. If you don't want your clothes, you just gonna throw them in a sewer drain if ain't nothing wrong with them. Like if you ain't got much wrong with your clothes, right? And you're driving in a car, will you just stop and be like, "Yeah, I'm gonna throw these in the sewer drain"? Come on, bro. Come on, bro. That's just bull. Right.
A day or two after the murder, Williams sold the laptop to Glenn Roberts. Next day, Asaro went to retrieve some clothes from the car. Williams did not want her to look in the trunk and try to push her away, but before he could, Asaro snatched a purse from the trunk. She looked inside and found Gale's Missouri State identification card and a black coin purse. Asaro demanded that Williams explain why he had her purse because she suspected that he was having an affair.
Got an ID in a purse in the trunk, bro. In his car. The woman's ID, her purse, her fucking calculator, and her ruler. What else do y'all need? Oh, but the his DNA wasn't on the knife. Like, come on, bro. That's stupid.
Williams then confessed that the purse belonged to a woman that he killed. He explained in detail how he went into the kitchen, found a butcher knife, and waited for the woman to get out of the shower. He further explained that when the woman came downstairs, he stabbed her in the arm and then put his hand over her mouth and stabbed her in the neck, twisting the knife as he went. After relaying the details of the murder, Williams grabbed Asaro by the throat and threatened to kill her, her children, and her mother if he told anyone. Now, this is the information that we ultimately ended up getting from Asaro.
Listen, that's one of the witness testimonies that they were like, "Oh, she's just doing it for fucking monetary gain." I see.
The murderer's girlfriend, and unsurprisingly, Philip DeFranco never mentions the third witness, the absolutely crucial one, that says that he purchased the laptop from Williams. And by the way, Williams doesn't even deny that he sold the laptop. He claims that the laptop came from his girlfriend, which
He claimed that the laptop came from his girlfriend, which she said it wasn't hers. And bro, if you got a witness, you got the laptop. All you gotta do is look at the laptop. Of course, it's not hers because he stole it when he was after he murdered the fucking lady. That's fucking crazy. It's so
which
stupid.
is absurd, ridiculous, and insane in every possible way. On top of that, the details about the stab wound in the arm and the knife being left in the neck that came from Asaro were not released publicly. So
Vindicated once again. Hey, nobody. Listen, I'm gonna say this every time because motherfuckers think I don't read shit. No one can say that I don't read shit, bro. Might not have went to college, but I know how to fucking read. Let's go. This is such a grim story, but fuck it.
this was information that confirmed that this was legitimate knowledge of the case. And again, we had all these other different various bits of property that are going to
The two main witnesses against Williams, quote, were known liars beyond being incentivized by the reward money.
On top of that, he repeats this lie that comes from Wesley Bell, who, by the way, was elected in the wake of the Michael Brown incident. He was somebody who classifies himself as a reformer, is anti-death penalty, and constantly pretends that guilty black people are innocent due to evil white racism. But the fact of the matter is, this guy is in fact guilty, and the claim that the girlfriend asked for any of the reward money is completely false. Witness that wanted and received the reward money was actually a cellmate of Williams.
Oh, oh, oh. Girlfriend never asked for reward money, so you just bullshitting. Just wanted to be some black and white shit. That's just annoying, bro. Like, sorry to go off on a tangent, but the biggest thing is annoying is that like there's some true like racist shit that happens, right? And instead of focusing on the true racist shit that happens in this country between anybody, I don't give a fuck who it is. You want to focus on this bullshit, bro. Like every fucking year, it's some more bullshit that happens. And people want to just push it because they want y'all to be angry at each other so much, bro. And dumbass niggas fall for that shit. It's so crazy to me. So crazy, bro.
Who was arrested later that month in August of 1998 on unrelated charges, who also said that Williams bragged about the murder after they watched a news blurb about it on television, and he also was able to provide crucial details to the police. But of course, because this guy's a criminal, because this guy lacks all morality, he didn't want to testify, he didn't want to come forward unless he received the reward money. So while that is true about the reward money being a motivating factor for one of the witnesses, it is an absolute objective lie that it is a motivating factor for both witnesses.
Okay, so well, he didn't say that he would have received less, so I guess I was wrong about that. Whatever, wrong about one thing. One shot against me.
Again, the girlfriend who has this crucial information never asked for any of the reward money from the
Actually, it might still be true. He just didn't say it. So.
family.
He argued that the two main witnesses against Williams, quote, were known liars beyond being incentivized by the reward money.
Now, you could say that the cellmate of Marcellus Williams can't be trusted because he's a criminal just like Marcellus Williams, and he's clearly and obviously motivated by getting the reward money. You can make that argument, and you can even go into conspiracy theory mode and say, you know what, those crucial details that were withheld from the public that he was able to present to the police, you don't buy that either. further because the police probably fed him those things because they were just trying to frame an innocent Angel Black person.
Not even gonna lie, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Yo, listen. Somebody just said that to me today. They're like, so what, man? That shit could be, they do a bunch of stuff that just, they can frame anybody that they want. I'm like, bro, come on, dude. Come on, dude. Like at some point, you gotta just think with your rational mind, bro.
With 14 felony convictions. But even if you were to do that, buy into both of those narratives, go into that level of denial, what you can't get around, what you can't avoid, is the fact that this is the guy who pointed the finger first at Marcellus Williams. And coincidentally, even though he would have no way of knowing this because he just made it up, Marcellus Williams sold the laptop of the victim's husband 1 to 2 days after the murder. Can't really get around that. Now, we're going to return back to the evidence of the case in a moment, but I do want to go into the racism angle because, of course, when
And I want to go into the feminist angle of people saying, like, people be so, like, everyone knows, like, women are the victim of violence a lot. Like, everybody say that. You get that told to you through the media, through fucking your personal life. Women's are victims of violence. Soon as it's a white lady and a black man, in today's society, okay, I don't know, like that's how it seems. Like as soon as it's a white person and a black person, it's like facts be damned. And like I said before, racist shit does happen, but look into it first, please look into it first.
a black man murders a white woman in cold blood in savage fashion, for some reason, this is indicative of evil white racism, and Philip DeFranco plays into this false narrative, which is ridiculous in every way.
And then he claimed that the original prosecution improperly removed qualified jurors for racial reasons.
So let me explain this to you guys out there in the audience in case you might be confused. So when you're going to trial, what ultimately ends up happening during the jury selection process is that you can disqualify jurors with cause, and you also, for a limited number of jurors, can disqualify them without cause. So in this particular case, we actually had 6 potential black jurors that were disqualified from this case, among many jurors that were disqualified by both sides, by the way, using the exemption where you don't have to give an
Thank you.
explanation for that. Years later, one of the prosecutors on this case said that one of the 6 prospective black jurors
What you say? I don't know. It's a 28-minute video, so
that was disqualified, again, in an instance where he didn't have to provide
hey, watch the stream and you'll see, girl. Come
any
on.
justification for said disqualification, was disqualified because he thought that that juror looked like he could be related.
Oh, and Oceana is the Marcellus Williams. Everybody's saying that he's innocent, but I'm pretty sure he's guilty, and I think he's guilty. And wait, he is fucking guilty because he was proven guilty. But yeah, everybody's saying that this nigga is innocent. That's what I am on about, motherfucker. Let's go.
To the defendant.
And there, notably, that is something that the original prosecutor has actually commented on, with him saying, no, I didn't remove one of the jurors because he was black, but rather because he and Williams, quote, looked like they were brothers, which to me sounds
All right. He said that he didn't dismiss him because he was black. He just dismissed him because they looked like they were brothers. Okay. That could be perceived as racist, but what it also could be perceived as if you look like someone else. If you're a juror and you say, "Hey, that look like we could be brothers and shit like that." You could have some type of bias, like, "Oh man, that could be me. That man look like me." You feel a little more empathy for him. You're not looking at the facts. You're looking at, "Oh, we're kin, man. We're kin."
like in a roundabout way of saying the exact same thing.
Well, DeFranco says that's just a complicated way of saying the same thing. The fact of the matter is, it's absolutely not a complicated way of saying the same thing, because that was one specific black juror that happened, according to the estimation of the prosecutor, to look too much like the defendant. And maybe he was worried about the fact that if they looked related, they might actually have some sympathy for the defendant and thus mess up the case. But again, it is totally protected for you to be able to disqualify X amount of jurors without cause when you're going into a trial, and this power extends not only to the prosecution but to the defense. So for Philip DeFranco to make the claim that the prosecutor, when by the way he didn't have to give any justification for disqualification, admitted years later that one of the 6 disqualified prospective black jurors looked like the defendant, and that is the reason why he disqualified them, and change that to, oh, that's the same thing as disqualifying him for being black, is absurd in every possible way. Obviously, this is a distortion, but again, DeFranco is reading directly from the Innocence Project, directly from defunct and debunked defense propaganda, and that's what you can expect when they have no case for innocence.
But regardless, right, the big argument made by Bell has to do with the hard evidence, or rather, the lack of it. You see, he highlighted the fact that the original crime scene was, quote, rife with physical evidence, including bloody shoe prints, fingerprints, and hairs. But saying, despite that, quote, none of this physical evidence tied Mr. Williams to Miss Gale's murder. And to that point, just last month, a new analysis actually showed that Williams' DNA wasn't on the murder weapon.
So because the Innocence Project lies and says that there is no physical evidence relating Marcus Williams to this case, DeFranco just presents that as fact, and then he tries to trick you with the DNA fallacy, where he says, guess what? They tested the knife used to kill Gale for DNA, and they discovered that Marcus Williams' DNA was not on that.
This is what I was saying. His DNA was not on a knife. And that's what everybody keeps repeating. Like, oh, his DNA wasn't on a knife. His DNA wasn't on a knife. Motherfucker. Bro, use more than one of your brain cells, please. Please. If you were to commit a fucking crime, if you want to commit a crime, what's the first thing that comes to your mind, bro? I need to wear gloves so my fingerprints won't be on it. The first thing you think about is wearing gloves, bro. It is so crazy. Go back, go back, go back, go back, go back. Yeah, let's go.
Make the claim that the prosecutor, when by the way he didn't have to give any justification for disqualification, admitted years later that one of the 6 disqualified prospective black jurors looked like the defendant, and that is the reason why he disqualified them, and change that to, oh, that's the same thing as disqualifying him for being black, is absurd in every
Bro, and it was one of 6 black people, and that's they're like, wait, but that one, that one though.
possible way. Obviously, this is a distortion, but again, DeFranco is reading directly from the Innocence Project, directly from defunct and debunked defense propaganda, and that's what you can expect when they have no case for innocence.
But regardless, right, the big argument made by Bell has to do with the hard evidence, or rather, the lack of it. You see, he highlighted the fact that the original crime scene was, quote, rife with physical evidence, including bloody shoe prints, fingerprints, and hairs. But saying, despite that, quote, none of this physical evidence tied Mr. Williams to Miss.
Okay, I believe that this man said the evidence was inconclusive when I was reading it. It didn't say it didn't tie him to it. I mean, it didn't tie him to it, but it wasn't like it was not him. It was like it's inconclusive. We don't know if it was or was not. Right?
Gale's murder. And to that point, just last month, a new analysis actually showed that Williams' DNA wasn't on the murder weapon.
So because the Innocence
And your fucking your DNA wasn't on a murder weapon. Okay, I got gloves on. My DNA wasn't on a murder weapon. Boom. We all know. O.J. Simpson. His DNA wouldn't have been on a murder weapon either. But yeah, some people still say he did it.
Project lies and says that there is no physical evidence relating Marcus Williams to this case, DeFranco just presents that as fact, and then he tries to trick you with the DNA fallacy, where he says, guess what? They tested the knife used to kill Gale for DNA, and they discovered that Marcus Williams' DNA was not on that knife, which of course they discovered that his DNA was not on that knife for a couple of reasons. First and foremost, Marcus Williams was wearing gloves. This is established at trial, so the idea that he would leave a touch.
Okay, so that's the one thing I did leave out. I said It makes sense that he was wearing gloves, but it was proven that he was wearing gloves. What the fuck?
DNA on the knife doesn't make any sense at all whatsoever. Secondly, this crime was committed in 1998, which means that items were not preserved for touch DNA going back to 1998. And in fact,
Just so every guys don't know, touch DNA is when you touch something and it leaves a little DNA trace. Okay, physical DNA is like if you leave I was about to say a paw print. I was about to say a hair print. No, a piece of hair or your spit or something like that. Touch DNA, like touch my desk, DNA print. Brush past my desk is like something like if you brush past something, you basically leave your DNA everywhere. So that's what touch DNA is. When you like brush past something, it's not really physical. Like I left my hair, my freaking spit, my ear, my whole ear at the crime scene.
unless you go out of your way to preserve it, touch DNA degrades in a matter of weeks to months depending on the condition. So, to be clear, the
And I just said that. Oh, yeah, I'm a genius. I'm a genius. You know what? I don't even know where I get this information from. You ever had that before? Like, you just be like, I know this, but I don't know where I got it from, but I know this. Jesus Christ.
absence of Williams' DNA on the knife in no way, shape, or form exonerates him. However, they did detect two DNA profiles on the knife, but that also turned out to be completely misleading.
And so then, with that, prosecutors cut a deal with Williams to avoid execution. Though notably there, he still would have been resentenced to life without parole.
They did the deal with him because the prosecution was like, all right, let's do this deal because we found some new DNA prints that aren't yours. So we're thinking it might be the murderer. That actual, yeah, we're not sure if it, no, they're like, we're not sure if it was you, but uh, we still got other evidence. So we don't have this, which would be like a slam dunk case. So it might be somebody else. That's what they were thinking at the time. But then they found out that it was just mishandling of evidence, right? They got their own fucking DNA, like a detective touched it or a prosecutor. I think it was a prosecutor touched the fucking knife, and that's who DNA it was. And then I was like, yeah, fuck that deal, because clearly no one else DNA is on it.
Under the new agreement. But in any case, it all fell apart like that. Right? Because what I didn't mention is that while Williams' DNA wasn't on the knife, someone else's was. Two people's actually. With them finding the DNA of an investigator and a prosecutor who participated in the original trial. And so basically,
Jesus Christ, Jesus, I'm good. I'm good. Hey, listen, you want factual information? Come to this guy, all right? Because I don't even know why I'm justifying myself like this. It's just like when people tell me like, "Oh yeah," when I like present my opinion about shit, and I tell people what they don't know, they be like, "Ah, how do you know that?" I'm like, "I read up on a fucking case. That's how I know." Motherfuckers be like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna believe you." I'm like, "You ain't gotta believe me. Just go read up on the case, motherfucker."
they determined that the evidence had clearly been mishandled. With that, then apparently meaning that it could no longer be used to exonerate Williams. With in fact a judge striking down the deal just a couple of weeks ago, with him saying the new analysis, quote, unraveled Mr. Williams' claim of innocence.
So, remember what I said earlier about how touch DNA was not something that they were looking for back in the day? Well, it turns out the fact that they weren't trying to preserve these for technology that they didn't know to exist also led to the prosecutor and one of the detectives on the case handling the murder weapon. So the two DNA profiles that were supposedly of the real killer, wink wink, were actually of the prosecutor and the detective. And when this was discovered, the plea deal that they offered Marcus Williams, based on the fact that they found these alternate DNA samples, was withdrawn because obviously this was only proof of the fact that the prosecutor and, of course, the detective at some point in time during the trial handled the murder weapon, which we all knew already, so it was their DNA that was on that weapon. So now that I've completely obliterated this DNA talking point, because this is not a DNA case, Williams was not convicted on DNA, and again, the DNA that they were looking for was not something that they were to preserve back in the day before they knew touch DNA actually existed, let's talk about the physical evidence that does tie him to
Yo, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I just got distracted because I smell bacon. What the fuck? That's, I smell fucking bacon.
the crime. So like I said, after Williams is arrested in 1998 on unrelated charges, he is incarcerated at the St. Louis City Workhouse. From April to June 1999, Williams shared a room with Cole, and this is when Williams told Cole about Gale's murder. Now, after Cole was released from jail in June of 1999, he went to University City Police and told them about Williams' involvement in Gale's murder, and he reported details that had not previously been reported.
Bro, and that's fucking it, bro. Like you go to a witness and you be like, "Hey, what can you tell me about this?" And they be like, "All right, just imagine you're a cop and what you know is uh guy got murdered and the murderer left the knife on like a rock or some shit like that, right? On a rock inside on listen, this gonna sound ridiculous. On a rock inside of a building right next to a popcorn stand, right? And then you never tell it to anybody as cops. Like that's like, oh, we're gonna keep this silent. And then you get a witness coming to you saying, "Hey, man, this guy just told me about this murder that he committed." And like, "Oh, what did he tell you about it?" Man, he said some ridiculous shit. He said that he left the knife on a rock in a building by a popcorn stand. And you be like, "Oh shit." You know what? That's really fucking incredible because we never said that to anybody. Anybody, but you just randomly came out with that? God, yeah, yeah. This guy definitely did it.
In November of 1999, University City Police approached Asaro to speak with her about the murder, and Asaro told the police that Williams admitted to her that he had killed Gale. The next day, the police searched the Buick and found a post-dispatch ruler and calculator belonging to Gale. Police also recovered the laptop computer from Glenn Roberts, and this was the same laptop that was stolen from Gale's residence. So let's give you a quick recap of where we're at. Felicia Gale.
Let's emphasize that the laptop that that was he sold the laptop to him 2 days after the murder. 2 days after the murder. What, bro? Like these niggas on fucking these motherfuckers, bro. Like you. I'm talking to you. Stop looking on Facebook, looking at a fucking headline, looking at what they put in their description or whatever, or the title of their fucking post, whatever it's called. I'm old. And believe in it. Who is such an injustice? Look into the shit, bro. Cause that's all I was seeing. Was motherfuckers saying, "Oh, man, this innocent man just got put to death. This innocent man just got put to death." I'm like, bro, all right, Joe. When I'm seeing posts like this, it's gotta be something funny. Let's look into it. I look into it like 2 days ago, or like yesterday, or 2 days ago, something like that. And it's bullshit. And then AJW, actual justice warrior, comes out with a video today. And I'm just like, I know you read what I read, but these motherfuckers ain't read shit, bro. Let's go. I'm sorry. Tangent.
Is a reporter for the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. As a reporter working for a newspaper, she has certain items on her that are designated and labeled as Post-Dispatch items. Somebody, aka Marcellus Williams, breaks into her home, stabs her 43 times,
I ain't gonna lie though, I don't know what you would need a calculator and a ruler for as a fucking reporter. I don't get it, but maybe I hey bad, I'm stupid, so I don't know. You might need a hey babe, what you need a ruler for when you journalism? I'm asking that.
including stabbing her in the neck. These details aren't released to the public, and two individuals are able to provide details to the police that they withheld from the public, like where she was stabbed, a year later when the police are investigating the crime after they get the tip. On top of that, we have a third witness who purchased, again, a day after the murder, the laptop from Marcellus Williams, and they were able to recover
I said 2 days after this nigga waited. This nigga did it the next day. Yo killed somebody and then sold her laptop the next day. I thought it was 2 days later, which I mean, still bad, but Jesus Christ, a day after? God damn, nigga, what were you doing?
that laptop and determine that it was in fact
First rule, hey, listen. If you're gonna murder somebody, okay, don't, s- don't, don't steal, okay? Don't sell the shit, right? Don't tell anybody else about your crime because they're gonna turn on you. See, you don't want that extra shit. Okay, he's doing all the wrong things. The one right thing he did was wear gloves and be black because now everybody's like, oh, he's innocent.
fact the one stolen from her home that belonged to her husband. On top of that, Gail's purse, which was stolen from the scene and reported stolen at the time as a part of this burglary, contained a great number of items, two of which, being the calculator and the ruler, the items that didn't have all that much value, were found in the trunk of the car. Just as Asaro said, the purse was kept in the trunk of the car when the police.
The big argument made by Bell has to do with the hard evidence, or rather, the lack of it.
So when Philip DeFranco says there's
Lack of hard evidence. What you mean? No, with the Philly D, the fucking asshole that he is because like I said, I used to like that man. He's confusing, right? He's saying the lack of hard evidence. But there's also something called circumstantial evidence. Circumstantial evidence, right? And there's hard evidence is, hey, I have blood on my hands. It's hard. You can touch it. But other things, it's like, hey, you got this. Oh my God, I better not be lagging. I swear to God, I can't be lagging. No, don't tell me I'm lagging now.
no physical evidence tying him to this crime, that is an absolute lie in the tallest order. We have property that was taken from the home that was undeniably in the possession of Marcellus Williams, one of which was a laptop that was sold, that, by the way, Williams acknowledges that he did in fact sell. And of course, we have other miscellaneous items that are found in the trunk. You combine that evidence with 3 witness testimonies and, of course, the criminal history of this man, Marcellus Williams, and you realize that this case is pretty rock solid. Now, what do I mean by relevant criminal history? Well, Marcellus Williams has 14 felony convictions that are all crimes related to what he actually ended up doing.
And that's why people be like, yo, why he just get why first of all, the question is fucking stupid to me. Why did you get um um execution, death penalty for one murder? It's not just that one murder. It's like he's been in jail for burglary, some assaults, all this shit, and then he murdered somebody. It's like you're escalating. So what they're looking at, they're like, oh, bro, this man is just going to be a menace forever. Let's get rid of him. Goodbye. And the way he killed her, like he stabbed her like fucking 20 plus times, bro. The fuck out of here. Eye for an eye. Shit. And it's crazy how niggas don't get that. Like y'all want to kill a nigga for stepping on your shoe. If somebody killed your mom, bro, like what? Somebody killed your grandmama, you ain't gonna be like, yo, I'm gonna kill that motherfucker.
Doing so, it is a pattern of behavior for this individual. Let's go through them really quickly. So we have 2 felonies for robbery, armed criminal action, 2 felonies for assault, 4 felonies for burglary, stealing, which are 3 felonies, and theft of a motor vehicle and unlawful use of a weapon. Again, all of these are consistent with the attack on Gale. So while DeFranco just reads off the defense propaganda points as promulgated by the Innocence Project, we actually have, never mentioned by him, a relevant criminal history. You have a guy who has committed burglary after burglary, who has used weapons in the commission of those burglaries, who has assaulted people during the commissions of those those thefts, and that's not mentioned at all whatsoever. We have the property from Gale that was sold by Marcellus Williams the day after the murder to somebody that was recovered, and additional property that was found in the trunk of the vehicle used by Marcellus Williams. We also have eyewitness testimony, and despite claims by Wesley Bell and the Innocence Project, the money motivation made him lie argument completely falls apart when you acknowledge the reality that he would have had to have made something up about somebody that coincidentally he shared a cell with, that also just happened to, for a totally innocent reason, come into contact with property from the crime scene that was stolen during the murder in a totally unrelated way. There's no explanation for that. He doesn't know the girlfriend, so attempts to try to frame her for the murder aren't going to make any sense because Williams says that the laptop actually belonged to his girlfriend. That's his weasel tactic. It all falls apart when you realize how aligned this case is. So yeah, you can call him money motivated, say he was making this up in order to just get that sweet, sweet $10,000 that, by the way, he was only eligible for if Marcellus Williams was convicted. But what you can't change is that he just randomly said that his cellmate admitted to this crime, and his cellmate had pieces of the victim's property in the vehicle that he was driving, and had another additional eyewitness say that he purchased the victim's husband's laptop that was stolen at the time of the crime from him in the 1 to 2 days after the murder.
Bro. And all of that, right? The shit in his trunk. The cellmate saying that what he did. The cellmate is telling the police what he did and like how he did it. Information the police never fucking released to the public. All of that. None of that fucking matters to these motherfuckers. They're just like, hey, he's innocent. Because the nigga was wearing gloves and he's been saying that he's innocent. It's bullshit, bro. I hate it. There are so many fucking actual people who are in jail for shit that they didn't do. But y'all want to fucking stick on this man? This dude? It's crazy to me. It's insane to me. Like you got niggas in fucking in Maryland going to jail for self-defense, like legit self-defense, just because Maryland got bullshit ass gun laws, bro. You got niggas that actually like shouldn't be in jail. This nigga, y'all defending this man. He should have been. He should have been in jail, all right? He should have been. He got what he got. All right? He got what he got. I mean, like this, it's just fucking insane to me, bro. Niggas got their mindset on the wrong shit just because they think they can attach like a black and white motive to it. It's fucking retarded.
What a wild coincidence that that story made up by that totally unreliable prisoner was verified by corroborating evidence. On top of that, there were additional witnesses from his time in incarceration that were not used by the prosecution that also said that Williams bragged about this particular homicide. Those were turned over to the defense, and the defense decided to never bring those individuals forward. So they had additional evidence that they did not bring into this particular case because they weren't sure if those additional witnesses might have heard something secondhand, even though they were reporting firsthand knowledge. They only went with the cellmate that had the details.
Hold up, what this nigga just say? All right, listen. Hold up.
Forward. So they had additional evidence that they did not bring into this particular case because they weren't sure if those additional witnesses might have heard something secondhand, even though they were reporting first.
They were reporting. Hey, listen, I know I fuck up sometimes. That was hilarious.
Knowledge. They only went with the cellmate that had the details that were not released to the public because he had the details that were not released to the public. So the police did a good job in this particular case. Look, this is not a hard case. It's pretty straightforward. It's pretty easy to understand. And the reason why every single court that looked at this case reaffirmed the guilt, the reason why the jury of his peers convicted him was because Marcellus Williams is 100% guilty. But I do want to point out one additional thing, which is the reason why the innocence fraud movement often plays this almost all white jury or all white jury card. And by the way, in this particular case, the jury was not all white. They did have a black member of the jury. So the idea that the prosecutor was just tossing every black person was just made up.
All that may be why Williams' lawyers have actually stopped emphasizing claims that he's innocent, at least for now. Instead, they're trying to get the case thrown out on the grounds that the original prosecution fucked things up by wrongly removing prospective jurors that were black and by the mishandling of the night.
But the
Oh, 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 oh. Mr. Philip DeFranco, you piece of shit. You don't know how to use critical thinking, so they couldn't get him on evidence. They couldn't get him like released on the evidence. So they had to go with the race card. They just had to do the race card. That's what it had to be, right?
The reason they do this, to be clear, is in the hopes that a black jury will do the wrong thing and vote somebody they know is guilty to be not guilty due to other grievances that they have against the criminal justice system.
And like I said before, this happened before. It legit happened before, right? If you look at the Rodney King case, right? Nigga got his ass whooped by some police officers. That's a case I need to look into. Let me, bro. Listen, if I come on here and be like, "Yo, Rodney King should have got his ass whooped," don't hate. It's like, nah. All right, but that'd be crazy because I never looked into that case. I just saw the video. It's like, God damn. But when that happened, and then the OJ Simpson shit happened, a lot of the jurors, if you look into it, like a lot of them did interviews, and they were like, we did this. We found him not guilty. The black jurors said that because it was like revenge for like uh atonement for like what happened to Rodney King. A bunch of them said that shit. Like law. You like law. I should have went to school for law, bro. Because I look at a bunch of cases. But yeah.
Or they have against white people. And again, I'm not making this up. The Innocence Project is founded by Barry Schneck. He is somebody who was on the dream team for O.J. Simpson's defense counsel. And in that particular case, juror after juror have come forward to say that they know he was guilty, but they wanted revenge for Rodney King. And of course, they.
Hey, listen. Can't nobody tell me that I don't look shit up. Right? Yo, why are we like this, my guy? Like me and this guy, we're like this. Like I'm on the same page, bro. Like what the fuck? Said the same shit. That's crazy. That's crazy. And this, hey, listen, no fucking lie, bro. This is my first time looking at this video, bro. No fucking lie. That's crazy.
They didn't like a white woman dating a famous black person, let alone marrying him. So they found O.J. Simpson not
I ain't go that far though.
guilty for racial revenge. And again, don't take it from me. It's on tape.
One of the jurors, I believe it was juror number 6, a male black, stood in the jury box and raised his fist like this.
Hey, fun fact about that picture: the white guy was in on it too. Like a lot of people look at that and think that the white guy was just like, oh, whatever. But he just didn't know that they were going to raise their fists. If my memory serves me, he didn't know that they were going to raise his fist. He thought they were just going to put their head down. That's why he's got. I mean, that's what he thought, that they were just going to just stand there, not do anything, not look excited or anything. He was in on it. But that's such a famous picture because they're like, oh, the black people like this, the one white guy is just like whatever. He thought they were just going to do something else.
What? This was a guy who presented as the most mild-mannered, and then we find out, yeah, he was a member of the Black Panthers years ago.
Do you think that they're members of the jury that voted to acquit OJ?
Oh, this is what I saw. Yeah, and she was like, she was like, what she say? She's like, Yeah, like 90% of them was like, yeah, we just doing it because we acquitted OJ because of Rodney King. And then he asked her, he was like, "Were you one of them? Did you think the same thing?" She was like, "Yeah, I was."
Because of Rodney King?
Yes.
You do.
Yes.
How many of you think felt that way?
Oh, probably 90% of them.
90%? Did you feel that way?
Yes.
That was way back.
Uh-huh.
You think that's right?
So I just want you to understand that while
Bro, you cannot tell me, bro. Nobody, fuck that, man. I'm the smartest man alive. Fuck it. I'm in there, bro. Listen, listen. I'm stupid, but I'm smart at the same time. All right. I'm, I ain't a learned man, but I know something.
all these people make the case that all white jury or almost all white jury is somehow akin to evil white racism, what they're actually saying is, hey, let's load up the jury with blacks so that way a black murderer, especially of a white person, especially of a white woman, might be able to catch a break because they have no evidence at all whatsoever of racism. They brought the prosecutor in to explain why he struck 6 prospective black jurors. The closest thing they have to evil white racism is he said one of those 6 prospective black jurors looked potentially related to the defendant. That's why he struck them. However, it is not a violation of procedure at all whatsoever to use your ability to strike jurors for any reason during the jury selection process. The fact that they even needed a reason from him or got a reason out of him is just something that they want to drop on you to add fuel to the fire, but there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being worried about a prospective juror being too closely related. Just think about it like this. What if there were a white woman in and around the same age as Felicia Gale that was going to be on the jury, and the defense team said, you know what, we're going to strike this person using our free strikes that we can use as we are allowed to in this particular court system. And then later on, people said, oh, well, that's unfair because the defense attorney said they struck that person because they were worried they might overconnect with the victim. Nobody would be complaining about that. Everybody would understand that you're trying to get as unbiased a jury as possible. And again, the whole reason you have those strikes without explanation is for particular instances like this, where you just got a feeling about somebody or something and you want them struck from the jury. On top of that, there's a lot of people who are widely reporting that the family didn't want Marcellus Williams executed. And while it is true that some members of the family have said that they're against the death penalty, no members of the family have been produced to say that Marcellus Williams is innocent because they know the facts of the case. Again, a career.
And just think about that, bro. Like a bunch of people say, like even if the family doesn't want it to happen, it's like, bro, I don't know. I don't know. Do you go against the family's wishes? Do you do that? I know some judges would be like, hey, yeah, just grant him a little leniency, right? But do you really need to follow that? It's like, you know, just like when a bunch of people get together and they be like, oh, we're going to sign a petition. It's like, yeah, you sign a petition, but what if the family, what if the family wanted him executed and then y'all just go out and sign a petition, even though the family is there at every fucking court case? The family's hearing all the evidence. But y'all just want to sign a petition just because y'all want to think that y'all doing some shit. When y'all ain't doing shit, it's like, I don't know. I don't know. Well, the petition shit, I do know. Fuck that shit.
Burglarer during the course of a burglary kills a woman. He ends up with multiple pieces of her property. Multiple witnesses come forward saying that he admitted to this murder. They actually provide details that were not released to the public. Somebody says that he purchased a laptop that belonged to the murder victim's husband that was stolen from the home from Williams. Williams admits that he sold that laptop to that person, and additional property from her purse is found in the vehicle that was allegedly used. Rock solid case, Definitely 100% fair for the conviction. Whether you agree with the death penalty or not is on you, but the idea that there is any doubt is absurd in every possible way, and Philip DeFranco should be ashamed of himself for platforming only the defense talking points, only the debunked defense talking points during the course of his video. Pathetic and shameful. Marcellus Williams is a murderer. Whether you think he should be executed or not should not lead you to lie about his innocence versus guilt. But hey, those are just my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you like this video, show them by leaving a like, subscribe for more content, follow me on the social medias, support me via the support links in the description of this video. This has been me talking about Marcellus Williams being 100% guilty. Till next.
Let's back that up. Let's back that up. Get y'all extra little couple seconds. Get y'all extra couple seconds of his shit. Look at that. That's all his socials and everything. AJW, go follow that man. Man's pretty cool. I like his videos. I don't like all his videos, but I like some of his videos. All right, man. Uh, we're done here. We're done. We're done. We're done. I tell you, honestly, I wish that more people just I wish I wish more people just be like use their fucking brains, bro. Like just don't go off on this fucking social media shit. You know what I'm saying? You see something on social media, look it up. Say, hey, is this fucking true? I don't know. Let me look into it. Too many people just be like, with my little brain, I can see how that's factual. That's how flat Earth get like big and all that shit. But that's been me talking about Marcellus Williams, looking at Marcellus Williams, looking at AJW. Till next time, yo, I'm gonna post this though on Facebook because I had that little fucking disconnection. So if you ain't checked the live stream, then it will be posted anyway. I'm probably going to delete the live stream and just post the fucking video. All right, bye.